Hello and welcome to the Women Wise podcast. I am Janine Lingenfelder.
And I'm Sara Haboubi, and we are so excited to have you here with us today.
This is your space to feel inspired, uplifted, and deeply connected. Whether you're building a business, finding your voice, or stepping into your next chapter, you belong here.
And a big shout out to our incredible sponsor, Arman Jamula, founder of It's Her Way, UAE's #1 female entrepreneurship hub. It's Her Way has become a thriving platform that supports women in all stages of their business journeys. From providing a marketplace to marketing support and funding resources, they're here to offer the tools and opportunities necessary for success.
And your vision and commitment to women in business is life-changing, and we're so proud to be part of It's Her Way community.
And we're also recording in the beautiful Procast studio at El Garhoud, Dubai. If you're ever looking for a space that feels professional and powerful, this is it.
Every episode is about sharing stories, lessons, and real conversations that remind us we're not alone, we're in this together. So get comfy, stay open, and let's dive in, because when women rise together, there's no limit to what's possible. So it is an absolute warm welcome and an awesome time for me and Sara to introduce Margaux Le Quellec. Welcome to Women Wise podcast.
Thank you so much, Janine. It's really a pleasure to be here and actually quite excited to have this conversation with you guys.
Well, we are beyond excited. You have a really interesting life, and you look about 12. Let's face it.
What a compliment!
You look so young, but you've done so much, and you've been down so many different pathways. So I think we'd love to know a bit more about who you are and how did you get here.
Yeah, sure. Well, in my 12 years,
I mean that in the most sincere compliment.
I take it as a compliment. Well, it's been quite a journey. I lived all over the world. I call myself a third culture kid. Very lucky to have, the opportunity to have done that. But I think I landed in Dubai 2 years ago. Well, I know I landed in Dubai 2 years ago. And I came here. I didn't know Dubai at all, but I knew it was a place that was growing and that had a big mix of people, and it was closer to home. So I made the decision. I had a job offer in London and a job offer in Dubai, and I chose Dubai, and I was like, it's time for a big adventure. Still young. And
but not actually 12. So.
Not actually 12. No.
Yeah, let's get that clear.
Let's make sure that,
and so, and I started my journey in Dubai, but I previously lived in London before that.
And when you said closer to home, so where's home for you? Where would you?
So home is wherever my family is, and right now they're all based in Vietnam. So so 6 hours there, not so far compared to the 12 hours from London, which is a bit further.
Sure.
And being away from family, is that affecting you being here in Dubai? How close are you? Is it helping you through your journey? That's one of the questions.
Good question. I'm actually very close to my family, and I don't think distance was ever an issue. I actually went to boarding school in Switzerland at the age of 10, so I've always been quite far from kind of what we call like family support, I guess. But it hasn't. I don't think it's been a challenge. I think actually it's helped me to not be so close to parents, because people fight all the time. But I learned to really treasure, the time I have with them and the conversations I have with them when I need them. So I think it's helped. But now they're coming to visit me a bit more, which I'm very happy about.
Well, everyone loves to come to Dubai, don't they, for holidays? And as you said, you're much closer. So you started off your career as an architect, is that right?
Yes.
So tell us a bit about that decision, and obviously that's not what you're doing now. We're going to find out what you are doing now. But how did you get into that first, and then why did you leave?
Yeah, of course. So I was a landscape architect actually. I did my studies in landscape architecture for 4 years, and then I worked at an architecture firm for about a year and a half. I love the discipline. You know, I love designing. I love consulting people. But I just don't think that it was very inspiring or passionate. Like, I felt like I could do more. And in landscape architecture, like other disciplines like engineering, medicine, there's a lot of steps to go through. There's a lot of pathways, charterships, examinations that you needed to do. And there wasn't really a way for me to fast track that. And I can't sit still. And, you know, I asked, I was like, can I maybe skip a couple years and just move to this position if I work really, really hard? And they were like, no. So I think that inflexibility, it didn't sit with me very well. So I decided, okay, what next? I need to get out of this industry, even though it's something that I love to do. But it just didn't, again, sit with me very well. So I always had a very entrepreneurial spirit, and I decided to do a master's then in entrepreneurship in London. And that actually opened my eyes a lot. I met new people from all over the world, and people who were doing businesses in so many different things, from, you know, building prototypes for medicine all the way to, you know, building new paper materials, recyclable paper. It was just a whole new world. And I think that really made me feel comfortable, because I was like, wow, you know, all those kind of things that you learn at school, become a doctor, you know, become an engineer, that actually doesn't exist in the real world. There's so many jobs, there's so many passions that are out there. And so that really helped me to be like, wow, there's so many things that I could do.
I'm going to ask a question about the Masters in Entrepreneurship, if I can put my teeth back in. That's a really kind of, to me, almost like it's a juxtaposition, isn't it? Because often entrepreneurs, you know, you'll see people who've maybe left school early, or who, they went to university, but they never actually worked in that industry, because when they went into it, immediately they knew, you know, and you did your sort of, your groundwork before you knew that fast track wasn't available to you. So it's quite interesting that there is actually a way of learning about being an entrepreneur. What do you think, obviously, apart from all the people you met with all the different ideas, what do you think was the biggest takeaway from that?
I think from my master's was really to be open and curious and ask a lot of questions. And if you find someone interesting or not, sit down with them for 15 minutes, give them their time. Because often I think it's through conversations that you get to know more about people. And maybe the initial meeting, you're like, that's actually an industry I don't really want to, not very interested. But then when you sit down with them and you hear their story, hear how they came to be, you're like, wow, that's actually very interesting. And it gives you ideas of, maybe that's the lifestyle I want. Maybe it's not a lifestyle I want. Or maybe it's a job I want. Maybe that's not quite right. So that would be, I think, one of the main takeaways of business school in general. It's not about the courses. It's not about the grades. It's about the people you meet and how you maintain that curiosity.
I love that, because it's something that shapes us as entrepreneurs and business owners, to listen to other people's stories and creating your own through taking snippets from theirs and build your own future. And I think with what you've done is exactly where you've landed today. Share a little bit more about your journey, where you're at now in Dubai.
Sure. So now I work as a regional sales manager at a company called Ooolab. It's a family business. I work with my brother, and it's a business that's based in Singapore. But 2 years ago, we decided, there's something going on in the Middle East, and I was like, okay, well, let's open our business here, and let's see the opportunities that are here in Dubai.
Ooolab.
Yes.
I love the name.
Yeah, I mean, straight away you're like, ooh.
Exactly.
Yeah. What is Ooolab? So tell us about Ooolab. Like, what is it? And
sure. So Ooolab is a software company, and what we do is that we help corporates and enterprises train their employees faster and more efficiently through our software. So it's called a learning management system, but we specialize really in hybrid training. So the mix between instructor-led, whether that's face-to-face or virtual, and e-learning courses together.
So I'm going to assume that your frustration with not being able to fast track through your original chosen field must inform this as well, that there is a sort of a desire to help people to progress faster and, you know, to basically reach their potential without feeling like you're always being held back. Would that be sort of a fair comment?
I think that's a fair comment. As well, I think through my experience when I was working in corporates, the learning is very hard because we're all different, but the corporate learning pathways are all the same. And I am a very creative person. I don't always concentrate or can concentrate for, you know, a whole onboarding 45-minute session. So I realized that there's got to be a better way to do this. And I think my brother also realized this. And there's got to be a better way to personalize learning at a scale. And that's, you know, why Ooolab was created. And I think for people going into corporates, it's really about, you know, identifying what skills you don't have, what skills you have, but also allowing those people to develop those, even if it's not in their job title. And I think that's what Ooolab tries to do. There's some skills that you need to know for your job, but there's also a way to develop other skills and help, you know, employees and people grow, which might not fit exactly in the job title, but, you know, still very useful and maybe transferable for them.
I love that because it just, as you're talking, I'm going back to the beginning where you started as an architect and something shifted where you couldn't do the learnings and change a little bit. And this is exactly what Ooolab is now adapting to give people that opportunity that it might not be in your job description, but by the way, you can actually add this just even from a personal perspective and grow from a personal perspective and not just within the job. And what I love is the sustainability that you are putting into Ooolab in growing individually for each person. I love that.
Yeah.
And what about, obviously, you know, in Dubai, AI is a huge part of living here in this country. So what role does AI play in terms of your LMS?
So we do have an AI
You need to put your teeth back in as well.
An AI product called Ooolab AI. But this is specifically focused for role plays and helping front-facing roles practice their conversations so that their managers don't have to do that weekly. So we also save managers time. But I think one thing about AI that I've seen in the learning space or in corporates is that it's only a tool. You cannot only rely on AI. If I talk to someone who wants to improve their sales team and use roleplay AI, I'm like, that's great, but that's only a part of it. Like if you want to really, you know, make sure that they succeed in their business conversations and their sales conversations, they need a lot more than just practice with AI. And I think it's thinking about AI as a holistic. It has to be part of a holistic approach to learning.
100%.
It can't be a standalone, especially for learning. Maybe for other disciplines.
Look, we made for relationships. So that's all I'm saying. AI has definitely got its space, but there needs to be human interaction. And I think that's what makes Ooolab so significant, making it stand out, because you're bringing the human element into it as well, not just focusing on the AI side of it. And the hybrid, I think that's a big plus for you. So can you share a success story for us from one of your clients who has used your services?
Yeah, sure. So we have a client which is a publicly listed company in Asia, and they had issues with basically they're an engineering firm. Okay, they provide IT engineering services, and they have a team of engineers who usually lead sales conversations. But it can be difficult. They're technical people. They love...
We both went,
Yeah, that's all we're going to say.
Well, being an ex-engineer and being in sales.
Exactly. I think, Janine, you know what I'm talking about. It's they're fantastic at knowing their product. They know their features. They know their benefits. They know how they can help you. But it's lost in translation when it comes to actually having conversation about business goals and how to convince maybe someone that this product or this solution is the right one. So we actually worked with their team of engineers through this 8-week sales course. And then with our platform, we help them, I actually identify first what skills they need. What is the baseline, okay? And I think that's the first key, is to identify what they're missing, what they're good at, what they're missing.
Yes.
And then personalize that at a scale, because it was a large team. And then mix instructor-led training virtually, because they had offices all over the world. And also e-learning, so that they come prepped to the instructor-led training with an idea of what they're going to learn. And they can also ask questions before that session. So that online session or virtual session with the facilitator is really powerful. It's not, we're going to read the slide and you're...
Death by PowerPoint.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's what we try and avoid. So that's why our structure has pre-work, instructor-led training, and then post-work. And then we also use our AI, so they train through their conversations, negotiation skills, and then that goes back to their manager. Their manager can spend maybe 45 minutes a week and review all their team's role plays, and then again, assess the skills, assess their...
It's the human feedback.
Exactly.
100%.
And what was the outcome for that company? I'm really curious.
Well, we're still rolling out with them. But we've heard very positive feedback in terms of, they're closing more deals, which is...
That's fantastic.
what they needed.
That is fantastic. I love that.
Yeah.
So for you, transitioning, so was this the first thing you went into after your master's? Or did you have another little route before you got here?
That smile says a lot.
I changed a lot. So after I did my master's, I actually didn't know what I wanted to do again. I seem to always be in that space. But I knew that I wanted to work with startups. So I was like, great. So I worked at a startup consultancy firm helping startups raise finance, and also, what kind of financing is there for their level of business that they're at. And then I was like, great, I think I'm done with that.
You took a bit of this, a bit of that. Yeah. And then what so how did this come about?
So my brother started the venture actually 6 years ago. And I was still figuring out what I wanted to do, architecture, startup consulting. After that, I was like, okay, what is the one skill that I want to learn? Because for me, the career question is too big. If you ask me what career I want, I cannot answer you.
I'm still wondering what I'm going to be when I grow up. I don't know about anyone else.
Oh, yeah, growing up. Adulting.
Growing up.
It's totally totally overrated.
So I think if I was like, okay, I cannot tell you, or it stresses me out to answer that career question, I'm going to, narrow it down a little bit more. So what is the next skill that I need to eventually be a better person, be more educated, anything like that. So I was like, you know what, sales. Because I think in the startup consulting role, I met with a lot of startup founders, and I saw that, the main issue with startups is sales. It's lead generation and sales and closing
Janine knows
deals.
all about this.
Exactly.
But it's very true.
Yeah.
Because as a business, your primary goal is to generate revenue and be profitable. So I was like, you know what, that's probably a skill that I need to do. So I applied to jobs in sales as a sales development representative at the time. And that's where I got those 2 job offers, one in London, one in Dubai.
Okay.
And I also knew that I wanted to do software sales, B2B, because, the deal size is bigger, but also the conversations are a lot more complex. So that's what I wanted to learn. And then I arrived in Dubai and then worked in sales at a software company as well. And then I was like, okay, I think I know all sales. I'm gonna go and join my brother, and we're gonna build this business here in Dubai together.
Amazing. I can feel Janine's like, it's my turn for a question. I can feel it.
But I love that you're using all these little steps building towards where you want to be. And I get the fact that asking the question, what do you want, as I can even feel anxiety is picking up.
It's
but
too big, isn't it? It's such a big question.
It is really, really big. But having snippets of certain aspects of your life that you can actually adapt to be successful. And once again, success means so many different things to so many people. Whether that's personal development, knowing yourself better to actually perform better. So I really, really love your journey, and I'm excited to see where Ooolab is going.
Yeah. So what's next?
I'm not sure.
Sorry, that's a big question. I'm not saying at the end. I'm not saying right at the end. I'm saying, is there a sort of a big project on the horizon now that you're working on, or something you can share with us?
I mean, for Ooolab specifically, I think it is developing that AI part and making sure that becomes more valuable. More valuable and more integrated into learning systems and corporates. And how do we do that? I think that's our next big project, because a lot of companies want to include AI now, but it's about how do you use AI to get the business outcomes that you want. It's not just, let's do AI and then
which I think, can be the risk, isn't it? That it's like, everything has to be, AI. And it's like, but actually you're dealing with human beings. And I think exactly as you said, it's a tool. It's not the ultimate, solution. So who's your sort of ideal customer out there? If there was like the big fish, what would that be?
I think our ideal customer is an enterprise with between 1,000 and 5,000 employees, and with a large sales force or or several departments that need their front-facing employees to perform very well. So I would say retail, hospitality, insurance, real estate. I think those are...
Oh, you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Dubai.
There's a lot of that.
Definitely all of that.
A lot of that.
That's why we came here. But I think those industries are the ones that can benefit the most. There is another industry that is that we've had success with, is also healthcare. Because in healthcare, all the technical things, medical training, we can, we can host it on our platform, but we don't do that. But it's also about human interactions.
100%.
And
not everyone behaves that way, in fairness, So I do think it is, again, because of AI, because of, those tools that people can go and they can put their symptoms in and everything else, it's like, I think for me, absolutely 100% it's about being more human. So I think that it's like using AI to be more human. Like it has to be, doesn't it? If you're dealing with people on a daily basis, as you said, that sort of front-facing aspect of it, you want to feel like you want to go back.
Exactly. Well, maybe not to
hospitals, but if you want to recommend people if they need it. Maybe we'll go.
That's true.
We'll go that far instead.
Margaux, I actually have a question. While you were talking, I was thinking of, do you have an app? Is Ooolab an app, or is it just a website-based?
It's cloud-based, and also we do have a mobile app for learners, because in some of these industries, they have very flexible working times, right?
Yes.
For example, hospitality, even doctors, nurses, they can only hop on for their learning maybe 10 to 15 minutes a day. That's what will be
flexible.
realistic. So that's why we have that app as well,
Yeah.
to host a lot of people.
It sounds really, really interesting, doesn't it? I think, it's that whole hybrid aspect, and to not just rely on it as the main aspect of what you're doing. So from a personal point of view, what do you feel have been your biggest challenges along the way, and how did you overcome them?
Okay, I think there are two main challenges maybe that really stand out. I think sales is hard. Sales is hard. Sales in Dubai is also a completely different
It's a monster.
Which it surprised me, and it took me a long time to adjust. But I think specifically in sales, I think it's about bringing authenticity in your sales conversations.
I like it.
Because I think one of the challenges I've had was I'm getting trained by a lot of top salespeople. You go and you ask, you're like, oh, this guy's closing deals. How does he do it? And the structure might be the same, like ask good questions, do discovery, how to handle objections, but you have to bring your personal personality into it.
100%.
I would say. Otherwise, it doesn't come out right. It really doesn't. And I've tried to do that. Impersonate, the top sales guy. Tried to copy exactly what he did. Didn't
It's
work.
interesting, isn't it?
So I think bringing the personal, your personality into your sales conversations is super important. But that's a challenge that I still have today. It's probably a challenge I'll have tomorrow. Maybe I should speak to you, Janine,
I was about
about
to
that.
say, let's talk.
And then I think the second challenge is, maybe that I don't know where I'm going. I always don't know where I'm going. And that feeling of being lost or having imposter syndrome, that hits home a lot. Probably feel that every week.
Yeah, it's a massive problem, imposter syndrome, and I think most people think they're on their own with it. And actually, when you look at research, majority of people will experience that at some point, or are going through it now. And particularly as you actually climb the ladder, as you get more successful, if you haven't sort of dealt with that within yourself, then it probably gets bigger. I heard a great analogy, which is imagine you've got a deflated balloon, and there are pinholes in it. When it's deflated, you don't see those holes. But as soon as you start putting energy into it and you're blowing the balloon up and the balloon's getting bigger, the holes become much more obvious. So I think it's, instead of seeing it as a problem, I think it's always an opportunity. It's like, okay, if I'm starting to feel this, where is it coming from and how can I? Because I think that thing about authenticity and bringing your personality is that at some level, if you're feeling that, it is going to sort of translate. It is going to be communicated in some way. And you don't want people to pick up on that. You want people to feel like, they've got faith in you and can trust you, and because you trust yourself. But I love that analogy of the balloon. I always thought it was like, so if you're feeling something, it's actually because you're getting bigger.
It's exciting.
As opposed to because, there's a problem and it's insurmountable. It's like, no, this is an opportunity here.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Acknowledge the space, I always say, but manage it.
Yeah.
Which is not easy. I'm not saying it's easy at all.
No, but I think anything, in terms of if it's worthwhile and if it's something you're looking for the next step and the next step, that this is a pathway that you're on. It's a journey, and sometimes you get rerouted, and sometimes there's an obstacle in the way. And as long as you know where you're ultimately, it may not be the actual destination, but I think what I loved about you said right at the beginning was what skill do I want to learn next? And I think about being a better, not just in your job, but a better human being.
Yes.
So to have that sort of idea of who do I want to be? And it's funny when we're kids, adults, what do they always ask us? What do you want to be when you grow up? And the reality is it's not being, it's what do you want to do? Being is a totally different state of mind.
Very much.
And I think having that kind of goal of being the best you can be in yourself, who you are, the most authentic, I think that's an amazing...
Never lose that.
Yeah,
Never
absolutely.
lose that.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here today, Margaux. It's so lovely to be in person.
It's amazing to be in person. The conversation just flows more differently and the energy in the room. So thank you so much for being a guest here at Women Wise Podcast. We really, really do appreciate having you here.
Well, thank you both. It's been a pleasure as well.
Oh, no, thanks very much.